I was asked one time about flutes. I was telling them, well, our people played flutes. We had flutes that were made out of the elderberry wood. It's a natural hollow wood you can stick your finger through. It's got that kind of inner cord. It's in Syilx. But I've been making them for a long time, and I can't tune them as good as I used to. My eyes aren't as great. Like long time ago, I think I guess long time ago I messed up a lot. The goal and what Syilx. Sapi and chinted. Yatit Syilx. Our ancestors, yeah, and I put yatit it's Syilx. And their songs had meaning to it, and they had. I've got several pipes. Made another one it's a double chamber, and it's in Tichelson Hatter. Exputin. Sputin. It has echo by this, and I got some other ones that's. You see, it's really thin. Achai is chwitet. It was gifted to me. Achai it boom in. Sapi I guess a long time ago in the history they talk about it that chwitet like urli boom in or when the animals gave themselves to us as clothing, for the hide, the sipi, their sipi, their skin. They said they can use us as a clothing, and also as an instrument. That's where the animals gave us the pumin, so they can hear. You can hear this puus. You can hear this puus, the drum beat, and that's kind of like one of the instruments given to us to use. And because they didn't have tools, Sapi, they used to look for hollow logs that was rotten already. Then they'd kind of chip it out. Imagine they'd cut it with obsidian, snake, Syilx. They keep working it until they get whatever depth they want out of that, and they scrape it out, and he's super booming. Because they had tools, Sapi was Talichka kusum that's booming. They really worked hard to get a drum. Sapi it's kulum stilchi sochomin, and it was a round stone. And in the middle of that there was a stick. Then on the tip of that stick, they had a like an arrow. Like an arrow. It was just and then they had a flat stick that went across, and they'd go like that. And then that stick would go back and forth like that. It didn't drill like the natural drill we have, but that rod, that stick rod, would actually go back and forth like that. He was it ina Syilx that's Syilx Syilx Nicholam Syilx putti is Syilx the puttiks just the two chins. It's like they're each note they made holes. They made different sizes. What Syilx Syilx Sepila Skulumi Syilx. I think they had drill. They had different sizes of drill too. Cause they had a lot of time. Or Sepila Skulumi. The كما Skulum Syilx Pumin. Or Syilx was Sapi. When they sang for the salmon, they'd hit rocks together. He's that's Ashkenam. He's like a Hilamer. You're almost like he's Ashkenam. So Cantisilke, Lotus. In Quistilke, Williams, and the that's an old chinum. قاقل خلما تسلا تخويت يتتلخيت هذه تخوي هيوس نتاو تيسلخي يتختلوت لا تخوي ويمسلخي هيوس ناسكوليت كسلخ هيلا تكاخ سلخي قاقل خلوت كسال السيوت كل كنيملخ تختلوت وذيك السيوت كل ناسكوليت كسلخي يختلوت. They take rocks from the water when they're done with the ceremony. Everybody throws their rocks back into the water. That way those rocks will echo. Lutksal siqaqula. Lutsen slip siqaqula. Can still say qaqula lutatsen slip. To me still he tamhula uxel. Achtel. Nacham lutat mistini lam nimtet tutlaha ulamani hikl hikl for the youth they give them these flutes or make it for them and they give it to them. That's to help them bring out a song that's deep in their heart that they can't sing verbally. The putis and khasqol نحن الخوش ميبنوسلخ يقيلم قيلم الخاص نتاو سينو الخوص قيسلخي قيلم الخوص نتاو سيسلخي نتاو قيلم الخوص قولم الخوص. It's like a training tool for singing. They use the instrument like the flute. But somewhere along the line, some started calling it a love flute. Well, maybe they did use it as a courting flute. A courting flute is like what do you call this? But I don't know if we used the flute or not. But I imagine they might have too, because our people were crazy. Probably make a joke and say, "Well, the only reason I'm bringing my flute to sing for you is flute can an chastin. Schicht is huisn in kilchwalch, wixen quan chinachtam, wix kilchwalchtam." San Chatsina of the His, Wohoy, he is Hoyam, Dr. Kutum, Mimips to Wich. It's like getting to know one another, is Mimips to Wich. He was Mimips to Wich, was Klachamenings, and I put Cleos or Wakamaya. Get to know each other so well that pretty soon you'll just be with each other until your hair turns white. VIII was Nacham Choy was Hapna Schulchalt Hapna just Hapna to Schulchalt Gutsal Chawinkum. And he al Chawinkum guitar. Was a high omslach inkten, he fiddle. It was ik and Tichui. You're filing the strings. Ik and Tichui inkten. If he's omslach inkten. Was a hurry nax Coleman Kinam Ja, Atkinixtim, Ruta Mai in Atkinixtim. And Pa Puchman, hier harmonica. Hier Kasapi is a sea. They were sent Pa Puchum. Naxi Quilam says, and Syilx says, yeah, so. He plays his harmonica, which was. He didn't tell us. He just play his harmonica and he's done. And he'd sing. He'd say, "Qichwinte milmula, Qichwinte milmula." Qichwint is drive them, so like you're. Qichwint is when you're scaring them or you're whipping them when you're on a buggy. Sitzend, you're whipping them. Qichwint is driving them and whipping them. That's what he's singing. That's his song. Qichwinte milmula, Sitzende milmula. He was Kulamslach. He can't Pa Puchman or he Qinkton, it's Alchawinton. I forgot what the accordion was called. The hicks if just Siptamanis the only songs we have is we have the songs for the deer, the salmon. But like I said, Kasapi, that's usami qilam ul lutstimalhi da qaila qslutni skurmi slahi qilam sul. Long time ago, the church, the priests told them, no, you can't do this anymore, and then they kind of agreed to that, and that they weren't going to do that anymore. To practice their culture, to drum and to sing. And so that's where our people stopped using the instrument. There was somewhere in 1840 they stopped. The deputy minister signed a document that told the Indian agents that we weren't allowed to practice our culture. And when they had the other one they used, the other instrument they used was the Syilx. The Syilx is the hoops. And that was what they used, the hoops. The Syilx. And that's I have one here that's actually not the Syilx, but it's on a flute. It's what they call Syilx. Syilx, or I guess the ones that are with the handle, they call that Syilx. That's those rattles, those with a stick and rawhide, or any kind of wood rattle, they call Syilx. Because you're holding it with a hand and you're rattling. You're Syilx. If it's a Syilx, it came late in our way, because Kasapi, what was amazing about the stick game a long time ago is they never ever did use drums too much. It was all stick. And it's they would it's all stick. And they'd have a rail on both sides of the players. They'd be kneeling down on the ground. They didn't have a chair. They knelt down on the ground and they'd play stick game. And when they'd play a game and they knelt down. And today everybody's sitting on the chair, you know. Dit mutlach, aber das so eine Klimuten da squealer. Kasapi utlach that's a lalaqom al-khos. It's a lalaqom al-khos. Switix, Wikis, Quan. If you was Schalapel, Lochpen, the Wikul. Was new Sapiat, as Column they didn't sing, but when they played cards, so he usually he Walukes. He sapikkel na spelen wat kel omak dat he itse skrill. He is omse wild looks. Maybe when you're down there you ask them how do they play wild looks, they'll show you. Ask those old guys if there's any old people down there, say ask them about the game wild looks. Not cha chun man Syilx. They flip 2 cards and then out of the deck they have to bet on each card. Which one do you think is going to come up? He is almost wild looks. That's Chief Joseph's game. He wild looks. He was chalapelach jam selachos. See yaelachos. Slochpen wichelachos. That's like in Scotland wichel. Some people are very tact with cards. They can fool you and hide a card, and they knew where it was, and they knew what card was going to come up. Yeah, it's almost like he tact those card sharks. If he was Quillen Syilx. Quillen has Kalau. Yeah. Hi, he put my